Okay, it's a rule breaker, not a rule follower, and I know rule breakers are not fun. So this is something that we just have to learn. However, there is a rule that will let you know when adding ed will make that verb have an additional syllable. Hello friends, my name is Susan and I've been teaching English online for several years, and there have been some patterns that I notice over and over and over again. Very common mistakes that people make when they want to speak English and they want to sound more like a native English speaker. So in this video, I want to give you some tips to help you sound more like a native speaker. And the specific thing that I want to talk to you about today is the past tense. So when we make a regular verb into a past tense verb, we add, what, do you know? ed. We add ed to the end of that verb. Quite often when a non-English speaker adds ed to the end of a verb to make it a past tense verb, they want to add an additional syllable. And most often that is not the case. And it's confusing. So I understand why that mistake is so common. Let me show you. Here we go. Let's take the word, for example, wash. Okay? If I want to say he washes, I add es to the verb. Oops. And along with this es comes another syllable. Typically that's going to be the case. You see that there's one vowel here, there's two consonants in between, and then another vowel. Typically that would mean that there are two syllables. Okay, so washes. What about washer? Same thing. We're adding er to the end of a word and it adds another syllable. Okay, typically that is going to be the case. However, when we're talking about the past tense and we're adding ed, washed, washed. It's not washed, washed. Okay, it's a rule breaker, not a rule follower, and I know rule breakers are not fun. So this is something that we just have to learn. However, there is a rule that will let you know when adding ed to the end of a verb to make it past tense will make that verb have an additional syllable. Okay? And that is if the verb ends with a sound of t or a sound of d. Okay, so if we take the word wait, wait, it ends in this t sound, and when we add ed for past tense, it adds an additional syllable. Waited, waited, waited. It sounds like tid, tid, not ted. Waited, waited. Okay, what about the d sound? The word fade. Fade. I chose fade because it doesn't actually end in a d. It ends with the silent e. But to make this word past tense, we're going to effectively drop this e and add ed. So we don't add another e, there's only one e, and it is faded, faded, faded. It sounds like did, tid. These are the only times that you add an additional syllable when you're making a word into the past tense form. All the other times, all the other sounds at the end of a word, you do not add another syllable. You just add a d sound. Well, sometimes it's a d sound, and sometimes it's a t sound. So that again can be a little bit tricky. But if you only ever add the d sound at the end of a word that is past tense, people will understand you. It is not incorrect to just make it a d sound at the end of a word, like stopped. I stopped at the stop sign, or I stopped at the store, or I shopped at the store. Shopped. Okay, well let's just quickly review. In order to have an additional syllable at the end of a word, the word must end in a T sound or a D sound. And then you add the syllable. If it's any other sound, you do not add an additional syllable. Okay, you just add the sound of D or T. D or T. Now let's talk about the times when you might add a D sound or a T sound. And this goes along with whether or not the final sound of a word is voiced or voiceless. Okay, do you know what that means? I'll show you. If you take your fingers and put them on your throat and make the sound shh, 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 you should not feel any vibrations here in the back of your throat. Okay, now make the sound b, b, b. Do you feel the vibrations? B, b, b. That means b. The B sound is voiced and the sh sound is voiceless. Okay, what about these two sounds? Put your fingers on your throat and make the D sound. D, D, D. Do you feel the vibrations? D is voiced and T, 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 T is voiceless. If the verb that you are changing to past tense has a voiced sound as its final sound, you would add the voiced D. So you just continue on with that voiced sound. For example, hold on, let me think of a word. For example, buzz, buzz, buzz. The Z is a voiced sound. And then we add ED to the end to make it past tense. Buzzed, buzzed, buzzed. Okay, we already mentioned a voiceless sound. Let's go. Oops. Stop, stop, stopped, stopped. P, p, p is voiceless. T, t, t is voiceless. Stopped, stopped, stopped. Okay, so if the sound is voiced, it's a D sound at the end. If it is voiceless, it's a T sound at the end. But you're not adding an additional syllable, you're just adding an additional sound. The only time you add that additional syllable is if the word ends in a T sound or a D sound, and then you're making it tid or did. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? All right. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and read these words out loud. Say each of the words very carefully. Think about, will there be an additional syllable, or will it have a T sound or a D sound at the end? Pause now. Okay, here we go. Tried, tried. This is the past tense of try, T-R-Y. I tried to draw a picture. Tried. There's no additional syllable. The I sound is voiced, so we continue on with the voiced D sound. Tried. Mashed, mashed. Okay, this one, the sh is voiceless, so we continue with the T sound. Mashed. Now, if you say mashed, mashed with the D sound, nobody is going to misunderstand you. Everyone will know what you mean. So it's really not a big deal if you only use the D sound at the end of any past tense word. The question is, do you add an additional syllable or not? Okay? Mashed. Hopped, hopped, hopped. P, 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 p is voiceless. T, hopped, hopped. Hopped is okay. Hopped, not okay. Hopped, hopped. Good. One syllable. What about this one? Waded, waded. The initial verb ends with a D sound, so we do add an additional syllable. Waded. Because you can't really say waded I don't know even know how to add a D sound to the end of wade without adding an additional syllable. Waded, waded, waded. What about this one? Designed, designed, designed. Okay? Ein, is voice designed. It has the D sound. Walked, walked, walked. Is voiceless. It sounds like a T at the end. Walked. You could say walked, walked. It's okay. It's just easier to say walked. Walked? No. One syllable. Walked. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. You did a great job. Please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell to get notifications when a new video goes out. And if you like this video, also give me a thumbs up and let me know what else do you have trouble pronouncing that I can make a video to help. And I will see you next time.